Hi guys, welcome to my channel GB's Crochet, and this is going to be the tutorial setup video for the March flag. So here is our flag. This is the chart. I will make this available as a PDF, so if you just email me when you're seeing this video, if you want to follow along with me as I create it, then email me at jbscrochet@gmail.com and I will email you the PDF. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the colors I've got picked, which are sitting right here, and I'm going to prep my colors to make enough what I call bobbins, or you know, my extra colors, or whatever you want to call them. So if you look on here, you know what, I'm going to use one of my kids' pencils. It's right here, it's convenient where it makes sense. So as you can see here, down here we're going to have rows of straight solid colors, so we're not going to need extras down here or anything. But up here, to make life easier, so that way you're not doing, you know, like having to carry your color across and it kind of come through, peek through or anything, we're going to create extra bobbins of the colors. So you can see here, as we're coming along here, we're going to have this light green, then we're going to have dark green, and then we're going to come back to the light green. So what we're going to do, and we have that carried up pretty much all the way past the top of the clover, to the top of the clover. So here we're going to have one green, a light green, a dark green, a light green. So we're going to need two here of the light green, and then just the one here of the dark green. Now the nice thing is, the dark green we don't have to split, because if you pay attention here, we can carry it up through here and keep, you know, it's the same color. It's going to carry up all the way through the whole thing. However, actually, we will have to split it now that I'm looking at it. So up here, we have just the 1, 2 light green and the dark green. Once we get to the bottom of these, the clover on either side here, we're going to have one light green, one dark green, one light green, one dark green, one light green, one dark green. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 different ones. Now, because this is so far away, I'm going to go ahead and do at least 1, 2, and 3 of these. I think we'll play with it as I make it and see if we can't maybe utilize a green on this side and a green on this side of the light green, and try and minimize how many of the things we're going to make, because honestly they're going to be small, but this is the setup thing. So I think just to make life easier, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 light green and 1, 2, 3 dark green. I hope I'm making sense. Alright, so I pulled out of my stash because, one, I need to get this done and get it out for you guys before March, and so, or by the time March starts. So that way maybe you can create it and have it out on your flagpole for the majority of March. So I am currently in a week where Hobby Lobby is not having their yarn on sale. So I cannot go buy yarn from them. I mean, I could, nothing's stopping me, but I pulled from my stash. We're just gonna make it from my stash. And I have all the colors I need. So I pulled out, for the main part of the flag, for the lighter green, this is Premier Basics in Spring Green, that I had from a mystery, I think I got this from Juan's mystery box, this Premier Basics. That, or I got it from Tap Mama's mystery box bag. And then I have the gold, Varsity Gold in Big Twist for our yellow gold area, which we won't need much of this. This one we won't need to split because we're just doing solitary rows, and we only got 5 rows, so it ain't gonna take much of this. Now this is the one, the light green and the dark green are the ones we're gonna have to split as evenly as we can. And what happens is I will make 4 cakes or 3 cakes of this as evenly as I can. And if I have to, towards the end, actually, hold on. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna do 3 cakes, but eventually 2 will become 1. So then we'll have 2 cakes. Because once we get up in here, we're not gonna need 3 cakes of green, of the dark green. But up here, we're gonna need at least 2. So we need to make sure we have at least 2 when we get up here. So that's what I'm saying. Once we get to the top of the stem of the clover, we can combine 2 of our cakes into 1 cake. So I'm gonna get this going here. So we will be utilizing the knotted half double crochet for this flag. And I think at least for this year, for 2025's designs, I'm gonna continue that trend. And maybe as my Tunisian experience grows, I will dabble a little more into Tunisian color work, but for now I'm just gonna do the knotted half double for now. And you can utilize a single crochet, you can utilize a half double crochet. Just realize that your size may come out a little differently than mine, which is fine. It just all depends on how you want your flag to look. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna do this in thirds, but I'm gonna try. It's hard to determine what's a third of the skein unless I pull it off and weigh it, which I don't want to do that because I want to keep going if I need to put more on it. So I'm just going to basically eyeball the skein and pull off around a third of it as I can. You know, I don't know, it's hard to say. I think, I don't know. It's like I said, it's hard. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go right there. Okay. Cut all the way out here, and then I'm just gonna wrap that tail around the outside and tuck it in on the outside here. As Juan calls it, I gave it a little belt to hold itself in. And then I'm going to carefully slide it off. So there's one. Family interruptions. Gotta love them. Okay, so I am going to get it started here on the second third. Oh, it helps to make sure it's tightly in there. All right, let's do that again. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to do another roughly the same size, and hopefully I can get 3 of them. So, yeah, when you do these color works, it's just easier to make these extra bobbins of yarn so you don't have to worry about carrying your yarn either across the back of the work or through it. And you know, it's just, it makes life a little easier. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try and get another third out of this. We're getting close. I think I'm gonna stop right there. It looks about the same. I'm bad with visually, like, I'm getting a little better at it, maybe, but honestly, my visual measuring is still a little off. So, you know, it's close. It's close. I mean, actually, that's pretty spot on. I mean, it's just, it might be a hair smaller, but it really isn't. Whew. Don't ask me to do this again because I don't know if I could duplicate this again. All right, so here's our third. Basically, I'm just going to wind up the rest of this into my third. I'm gonna move those out of the way because on the second one, my yarn was starting to catch on them. So I'm gonna get my third one done. I hope you guys can hear me over this. I'm trying to talk loud, but also my kids are still home, so come on, baby. Give me a third one around the same size. It might be slightly smaller because I'm running out of yarn. Yeah, this one's gonna be a little small, which is fine. Like I said, one of these doesn't have, they all don't have to be identically the same because 2 of them are gonna eventually get attached to each other. I mean, I'm getting pretty close to the same size here, y'all. I might actually have done it. I don't know how I did that, but I did. Alright, oops. I needed to go around the outside, not the cone. I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit and tuck her in. Alright, so there are my 3 greens. So I'm gonna make sure my tail stays on the outside there. Pull it up. It's pretty close. Pretty close. I think I managed to get 3 semi-similar. I mean, they're all about the same kind of squishness, so tightness. I mean, I'm actually really shocked that I did that. Don't ask me to do it again, like I said. Alright, and then the other one I need to do was the Premier Basics. So this one we needed 4. I did thirds okay, but I don't know about this 4. These quarters. I wish I could get away with just 2. Wait, no, I need 4. But eventually, 2 of them will be combined into a third. So I'll have 3 instead of 4 when I get to the top of the clover again. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can, like I said I couldn't duplicate this, but because I'm doing a whole different size this time. I'm doing quarters instead of thirds. Now, I will say that for these flags, I have managed to make them all so far with 1 skein of each color that I put into my flags and still have extras after the fact. Like I had half of both of my pinks and almost a whole skein of white left from February's. So I don't know how I'm going to do quarters of this. Because this is, let's see, how many yards difference is this between the 2? So the I Love This yarn is 355 yards. This one is 359. I don't know how close to the same size I want to go. I'm going to go to, I think there. Because like I said, these are going to be slightly smaller than the dark green. So I'm going to turn that around, tuck this in. That's the only downfall to making the small cakes on here is, you know, it's kind of silly. So there's one. But hey, it makes quick work of making these little cakes. I could do little balls, but that hurts my hands. It hurts my fingers. And my scissors are back on the same side. So I'm going to do 3 more of that size. So I may be quiet here for a minute, I'm sorry. Because I don't want to keep repeating too much, you know. I don't like being repetitive. Not because I don't want to repeat things, because I know some people need to hear things multiple times. But because I don't want to repeat myself, because I don't want to bore you. I don't want to be redundant with you guys. Alright, so I think that's about the same size. So we're going to cut it. And I'm going to wrap it around. My daughter's not feeling well today for some reason. It just hit her out of the blue. She was fine yesterday and all weekend, all week. And then my youngest is up there playing. Okay, so there's 2. They're roughly about the same. Alright, let's see if we can do it. So, I mean, I can visually see the sizes, you know, about the same. I'm sure they're not identical, but they're close. But this is basically how I prep my... You know, I didn't need these little cakes that I've made to start my flag with. So, and I'll just, you know, it's fine. It'll work. It'll work. It'll be fine. All right, so I'm gonna tuck that in there. Pull this out. Make sure it stays nice and it kind of pops out a little bit on the top, but that's okay. It's okay. There's 3. All right, y'all. Let's see if I can do this again. I mean, I guess I could visualize how much, but I don't know. I don't know how accurately close they are, which they don't need to be accurate. They just need to be close in size so that way they go, you know, so that way they do their job. It really doesn't matter how much is there because I can always add to it if I need to. Like from another cake, you know. Hopefully I won't have to preparing ahead of time like this. So this one might be slightly bigger than the others, which I will probably use this one first for my setup, or my first, like, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 10 rows, the first 10 rows. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be about the size of the dark green. Which is okay. Like I said, all this will work itself out in the end and we'll have a flag. And it wants to keep getting tangled up on me. And this is what I like to do. I just pull out the rest of it like this. And it's not tangled quite. I mean, it's tangled, but it's, you know, it's tangled in a way that it comes out nicely. So I just let it all out, let it all loose. And then I can go back to finishing the rest. So, and then I'm just gonna little tight and then tuck and then pull it off. So it's just ever so slightly bigger than the others. Not much. Okay, I mean, you can definitely see the difference, but you know, I've got my little 4 cakes now. So those are done. Now I'm going to basically, I'm going to put the camera down on a point of view, I guess, down on the table so you can watch me get started on the flag. I will probably do this video in parts. I'll do the first part of it, the first like initial rows, and then the next video should be the color changes with the Clover part itself, and then the third and final part will be the last handful of rows, and then showing off the finished product. So I will see you down on the table. All right, guys, so here is our PDF graph here. I got my pencil ready to go to mark off my rows. I'm going to be using a 6mm dots hook for my foundation row, and then I'm going to use my 5mm H hook for my Clover more for the rest of the flag. This allows the first initial foundation row to be a little more stretchier, and which will work with this, with the way we do the knotted half double crochet in this. It will help you know, it just stretch better. So we are going to start off with row number 1 here with the dark green, and then we're going to go to our yellow gold, then to our light green, and then we're going to, every row we're going to change colors, and we're going to do dark green, gold, light green, dark green, gold, light green, dark green, gold, and then 2 rows of light green. So I'm going to pick up my 6mm crochet hook first. I'm going to grab one of my dark greens here. I'm going to make a slip knot And you do that however you are comfortable with. And then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. Hopefully this isn't too dark for you guys. Oh, it's okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to do a half double crochet foundation row. So it's going to be a chainless foundation row. So after sort of. So we have our chain 2, we're going to yarn over, we're going to roll the V's over to the back where you see these. Let's see if I can show you here. On the back of the V's are these, see, I gotta put this one down. All right, so on the front you see your V's, right? If you flip it over, you've got these bumps. There's a bump here and a bump here right by my thumb. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to yarn over. I'm gonna go into the first bump, not the first one from the hook, but the second one from the hook. So the one that's right next to the slip knot, or to this knot here. So I'm going to insert my hook in there. I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to yarn over, go through all 3 loops on my hook. So that is a foundation half double crochet. So then I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to roll this over. And you're going to see kind of a V right here. You're going to go under those two bars right here. Right here are your 2 bars. Well, if I can hold this right. All right, so remember I rolled it. I'm going to go under those 2 bars right there. Pull up a loop. Chain 1, yarn over it, go through all 3. So then we have 2 half double crochets done. This one's a little bit loose, but that's okay. I'm going to keep doing that for 30 stitches. So we have 2, chain 1, 3. We're going to go under those 2 bars right there on the bottom. This is what's creating that chain foundation without actually chaining. We're doing the chain and the stitch at the same time. So here's our chain, here's our half double. So we have 4 half double crochets for our foundation row already. So we yarn over, go through those 2 bars right here. We pull up our loop, chain 1, half double crochet, yarn over, go into that bottom V, pull up our loop, chain 1, yarn over, go through all 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to keep doing that for 30 stitches. So we have 7, we have 8, and hopefully if this works for you guys, just stay here with you and just count through it. There's 9, 10, 11, because I don't really want to do the whole, I'll be back after this many rows with you, but I don't know. You know, I think we're on 12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we go through there. I hope you guys can see this dark green. Okay, I hope it's not too dark. Okay, hold on. I need to make sure. Okay, I pulled up my loop. So here's my loop that I pulled up. I'm going to chain 1. I do that chain 1 so fast sometimes that I go, did I do that chain 1? 13, 14, 15, 16, And you want to make sure, I forgot to mention, as you're doing that first chain one, if you see it doing this, like curling, it's because you're doing that chain one too tight. But so far we're doing okay. I'm gonna have to go back and count. I think I did 17. I'm gonna go to 20 and then I'll double count. So here's 18. 19. Like I said, make sure you do this part right here. Make sure you pull up that loop before you chain one a little loose, so, or you know, make it kind of tall so that way it doesn't kind of pull your stuff in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm counting right, yay! All right, so we chain one, 21, we chain one, 22. I have to say that chain one, y'all, I'm sorry, so I don't forget it. Even doing it this many times, I still feel like it's, you know, you ever get on pilot mode and you just go and you go, did I stop at that stop sign? Did I stop at that light? And see, now I've lost my count. I think I'm on 24. I'm gonna go to 30 and see. Here's 25, I think. I can always take one away or add one to it if I don't have enough. 26, 27, 28. I mean, it's gonna curl a little bit and that's okay. 29 and 30. All right, let's see if we have 30. Yeah, it's gonna curl a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so we're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All right, then I'm actually going to back out just to the last chain yarn over that I did to finish my half double crochet. I'm gonna pull in my my yellow gold here. So I need to pull out some of this. It's a brand new skein here, so I'm gonna set it right there. Oh, hopefully I didn't get it all tangled up doing that. All right, I like to do a slip knot even with my color changes. So I'm going to pull it through, tighten this down just a little bit, not too much, and then I'm going to pull this tight. I'm going to chain one, turn my work, and this is where the knotted half double crochet comes in. I'm actually going to drop my 6mm and pick up my 5mm. And then I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go into this chain space right here, insert my hook, pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, go into the first chain, or sorry, excuse me, the first stitch here, that first half double crochet. You're going to pull up another loop, and you have 5 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to yarn over and go through all 5, and that's a knotted half double crochet, or double crochet 2 or half double crochet 2 together. All right, so then to continue the row, we're going to yarn over, go into the loop, or go into the last one, the last stitch we came out of, pull up our loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. We're going to yarn over, go into the last stitch we came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. So we've done 3 half double crochets already. So we want to have 30 of these little, like, you can kind of call them like little knots, or little, you know, you can see the two together, right? So we want 30 sets of those. So we want to yarn over, go into the last stitch that we came out of, pull up our loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up our loop, yarn over, go through all 5. I'm going to do this a couple more times and then I'll just go across the row with you. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up your loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Okay, one more time. Yarn over, go into the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Okay? So we are just going to keep doing that all the way across. This looks like Green Bay Packer colors. It's so funny. So we do all the way across here, and I'll try to kind of go slow because I get into pilot mode with this stitch because I love it so much. And it's a nice squishy stitch. I like it. You know what? I need to cut that because we're gonna go, I'm not gonna do a border on this flag, so I'm gonna cut this long enough to do a tail. And then I'll just bring in a new strand when I go to the next dark green color because yeah, I have yet to put a border on these. So I tangled up my yarn when I was pulling it out, y'all. So now it's all, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna keep going across, yarn over, go into the last stitch I came out of, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up our loops. We have 5 loops on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Okay, we're just gonna keep doing that all the way across. So for a total of 30 stitches. Yeah, 30. I'm trying to make these flags all the same. 30 stitches wide by 40 rows tall. So it makes for a longer flag, but that's okay. You know, my little garden flag, they almost kind of look like flowers. It's kind of pretty. Now it is going to do kind of this all, you know, but once we get further along, it straightens itself out. So, and you also make sure you're not doing it too tight. You know, you're using a 5mm, so you did go a little bit smaller on the hook size, but the knotted half double crochet, with the way it is done, it ends up expanding the size of your work by quite a few inches. So I hope you guys are able to follow me as I go across here without telling you the steps. I try to give you multiple explanations throughout, but with the current row that we're on, you should be able to follow along with this row, and then I'll help you go along the next row, or start the next row with our color change. So our color changes are going to happen on opposite sides because we are going back and forth and we're turning our work. And the important stitches, I think, well, mostly the first one, but making sure you go into the last stitch you come out of to start your next one, and then going into the next stitch to create your knotted half double. Just remembering to keep those, you know, straight will help you be successful in this. Let's see, we're at 15 minutes. My tutorials are definitely not traditional tutorials, and that's okay. And I'm glad you guys like them. All right, so I ran to the end of my yellow here. I gotta pull a little more out. So finish that knotted half double. All right, so the last two here, I'm gonna go into the last, or yarn over, go into the last stitch I came out of, pull up my loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over. Actually, you're going to yarn over with the new color. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut this real quick, because I mean, I'm gonna have to anyway. And then I'm going to use the bigger one, I said. Okay, so we're gonna use the bigger one that I made of the green, the light green. All right, so we're gonna finish this knotted half double here, last one here, with our new color. So we're gonna pull this through. Make sure you hold on to that yellow so it doesn't get pulled out. We're gonna tighten that down, that slip knot. We're gonna chain one, turn our work. So once we get all of these strands on here, once we get up further into the clover here, and we have like 7 of them going, you're gonna wanna remember, whatever way you flip it, going one way, to keep them all like going straight to their cakes without getting tangled up. If you flip back the opposite way that you flipped the last time, you'll keep your strands, they'll twist on each other one direction, but then when you flip back the other way, they come untwisted, if that makes sense. And then you just keep doing that back and forth all the way up, and you'll keep your strands separated. So we're going to yarn over, go into this chain space that's right here that we created from that chain one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the first stitch of the row, pull up our loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Now I'm going to take a moment and tie these real quick. So I'm just going to do a quick little knot. I like to incorporate a double wrap one at some point, either the first one or the second one. So there's that. And then I'll just sew these tails in when I'm done with the flag. All right, so we're going to do 30 of these across. We're going to yarn over, go into the last stitch we came out of, pull up our loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up our loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Okay, I'll do that a couple more times, and then we'll do the rest of the row without explaining it. So we yarn over, go into the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. One more time. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Okay? Once we finish this row, I'll go ahead and count just to show you that we do still have 30 stitches across. And I have to say, these are looking a lot like springtime flowers or something. It almost kind of reminds me of Michael over at MDL Crochet's Bunny in the Meadows blanket that he made in Tunisian, which gets my mind thinking, is there a way that I could make like a meadow of tulips, you know, pattern with this stitch? I wonder. I have an idea that I'm going to play with and see if it works. I got an idea, you guys, because this is giving me flower vibes hardcore right now. So and like I was saying on my lives with my February flag, when I did that live, I can work through this flag so quickly when I'm not, you know, having a conversation. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my lives and having a conversation with you guys, because it's a little harder to have a conversation with myself while I'm doing this. So you may get some silent crochet time here while I go along. Sometimes, like I said, I just get into those modes where I suppose No, we would almost have to do 2 rows of each color for it to change colors along the side, but no, I'll just sew the ends in after I finish the flag. I was gonna say, like, I could change up how I did it on another flag next time and do like 2 rows where it ends on the same side as it starts, so that way I can run up the side with the previous color. Like I said, it's gonna do this, but you know, and I keep fiddling with it, but as the flag grows, it will settle down. That was proven with my February flag as well, because it did the same thing. Alright, so I'm coming out on the end here, and I have yellow yarn that's trying to join the green, so I need to move it out of the way. Alright, so we're going to keep going. Alright, we're on the last 2 here, so I'm going to yarn over, go into the last stitch I came out of, pull up my loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up my loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch I came out of, pull up my loop, yarn over. Now, you can't see the V. Where do I go? You gotta turn him just a little bit, because he likes to kind of tuck himself, like turn him, so you gotta kind of have to coax him out here and turn him. And you find the V here, and you go under, just like that, and you pull up your loop, yarn over, and go through all 5. But we want to finish this last one with our next color, so I'm actually going to feed my hook back through there, cut this long enough to leave a tail to sew in, then I'm going to pull my dark green back with a slip knot. So I'm going to pull that slip knot through here like this, and then I'm going to hold on to this and tighten it down, chain 1 just like that, and then I'm going to put this down for a second and tie these 2 ends together. Like I said, I like to do a double twisty, at least the first or second time. Okay, and then I'm going to do it to this one as well, because I forgot to do it here. Make sure you don't get it too tight, so you don't, like, you know, mess up the corner there. And there you go. I'll sew those in later. Alright, now I'm going to turn it again and do another row of dark green. Now, I haven't been marking these off, but we are done with row 1, row 2, and row 3. So now we're going to do 4, which is our dark green. So I yarn over, I go into that chain space that I created with the chain 1, pull up my loop, yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 5. And I'm going to do that all the way across for another row of 30, and I will count this time. So we're just going to go across for 30 stitches. I'm going to complete this one and then I'll explain again. So we yarn over, go into the last stitch we came out of, pull up our loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. And we just keep doing that across. Yarn over, go into the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Oh, make sure you guys can still see this. Alright, so we're just going to keep doing that across. And like I said, I may end up just sitting here being silent and trying to talk over my child who's playing video games upstairs. You know, instead of being outside in the beautiful 60-degree sunshine that we are experiencing today. Daddy ran off to go pick up plywood and left him playing, so, and I was getting started doing this. So hopefully I can at least get this video done before they get back, which I doubt it, because I still have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4, 5, 6 rows. Oh, sounds like they're back already. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep going. You may hear my husband is a loud talker, so, and he has to come down here to my son's room because he's putting plywood underneath the mattress of his new bed frame that we got him yesterday, because we're upgrading him to a queen bed, so that way when we have guest people come over, they have a bed to sleep in. Okay, so I'm going to keep going across this row with you, and then I'm going to actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do what I said I wasn't gonna do, just to make it easier with my family being around and needing to be down in the basement near me to work on something. So I hope I've explained enough with these several rows that I've done so far that you're able to complete the next 6 rows without me. But I'll go through a quick explanation of those 6 rows, so that way you can follow along in the interim of the break that I'm going to have here after I end the video. And then I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to explain how to do our color changes. All right, so we're on the last one of this row. I went into I yarned over, went into the last stitch that I came out of, pulled up my loop, I yarn over. I'm gonna, like I said, roll that over till I find that V right there. See how you can see it now? I'm gonna insert my hook under that V, pull up my loop, yarn over. Actually, I keep forgetting. Gotta love it. I'm gonna cut this real quick. And yellow is our next one again. So I'm gonna pull that one up, and then I'll explain to you real quick. So like I said, I do a slip knot. I pull through that long loop. I pull that long loop that's at the top here, through all that, and then I'm gonna hold this dark green on the back here, and I'm going to pull on the working part of the yellow and tighten that up, and it'll bring the knot up to the top there, or inside. And I'm going to yarn over, pull, and chain 1 here. Okay, all right, so that's what you're going to keep doing with your color changes. So you're going to continue on with another row of yellow, and you're going to do another row of light green, another row of dark green, another row of yellow, and then 2 light greens. Okay, so again, you're going to do a row of let me mark this off. You're going to do yellow, light green, dark green, yellow, light green, light green. So I hope you can follow that, and then I will be back at the end of these 2 light greens to give you instructions on the following video that will precede this one. All right, so we'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys, so I'm coming up on the last 2 stitches of my first row of green here. So we're going to do the 2 rows of green, and then I'm going to show you this first row here of adding in, having our 2 separate colors here, and then that green, that dark green. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, find that last stitch on the end, right here, pull up your loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Now you're going to actually finish that one, chain 1, and turn your work, because you don't have to cut your yarn on this one. You can keep going. You can yarn over, go into that chain space that you created here from that chain 1, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the last stitch you came out of, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. Yarn over, go into the stitch you came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5. And you just keep doing that all the way across. And I know I told you twice that I'm going to count. Please count. Please remember to count at the end of this row. Calling Amber, remember to count at the end of this row, please. All right, so we're going to work our way across. So this is row number 10. And then row 11 will be our last one, because then I will have gotten you started on the color change. And then what I might do is work my way up to this right here and come back on the next video and do this area with you, and then, you know, do my pauses and starts and stops and all that good jazz for the video. So you're gonna get quite a bit of me crocheting along with you. I'm just gonna keep just a tiny portion of it off camera. So like this little section here, I mean, I did what, 4 rows by myself, 4 or 5 rows, I think 5 rows. But I feel like I explained this well enough, at least I hope I do, that you're able to, that I'm giving clear explanation that we don't really need to have every row by stitch recorded, because that would be, I mean, if I sat here and worked on this, it would be, you know, a few hours. It would not be done in, I can't do this in one sitting. I'll do a little bit now, I'll put it down for a little bit, let my hands take a break for, you know, a while, and then I'll come back and do some more on it. But this I'm doing along with you guys and showing you as I go along for the majority of it. Like I said, not all of it will be in the recording, but you'll get what you need. All right, so I'm coming up on the last 2 here. So I yarn over, go into the last stitch I came out of, pull up my loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up my loop, yarn over, go through all 5, yarn over, go into that last stitch I came out of, pull up my loop, yarn over, find that stitch on the end by turning it a little bit, pull up my loop. This time I don't have to change again, so I can keep going with this one on this, so I can pull through all 5 and then chain 1, turn my work. Okay, so we have finished row number 10, 9, and 10. So now we're going to do 11 real quick. So we're going to start over here. Am I in frame here? Maybe now I am. So I'm going to start over here. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'm going to do 18 of the light green, bring in my dark green, and then I'll do 2 there, and I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 light green with a new strand of light green. So we said 18, 2, and 10. So we're going to yarn over, go into that chain space right here that we created from the chain 1, pull up our loop, yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull up our loop, yarn over, go through all 5. All right, so we're going to do that 17 more times for a total of 18 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now on this last one, 18, we're going to finish it with our new color. So we yarn over, go into the last stitch we came out of, pull up our loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up our loop, but don't finish. We're going to hold that in place just like that. We're going to drop our green to the back of our work, the first light green. We're going to pick up our dark green. I'm going to put my slip knot in there. And then I'm going to, oh, come on. I'm going to pull it through. And yes, I know it's a long loop on there. I'm going to actually pull on the working end here and tighten it down. And then I'm going to yarn over, go into the last stitch that I came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, and I'm going to try and crochet over my tail. I'm going to yarn over, go through all 5. So there's 1, yarn over, go into the last stitch we came out of, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, but do not finish it. Now we're going to pull in a new green, light green. So I'm going to do my slip knot again. The slip knot is only necessary when we're joining a new color or adding a new color in. So I'm going to pull my loop through there, all 5, and then I'm going to tighten this down, tighten my green down a little bit. Actually, I can't tighten the dark green down until I do a stitch. So I'm going to tighten it down just a little bit that I can hold it back here and hold it in place so that way it doesn't keep coming loose on me here. I'm going to yarn over, go into that last stitch I came out of, pull up my loop, yarn over, go into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, finish it through all 5. And then I can pull on that. So there's my 2 dark green right there. All right, so we want to do 9 more for a total of 10 light green on this side. So we're going to go 1, there's 2, so we have 2 light green, we want 8 more, and we want to go to 10. Make sure we have 10. 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's really important to count, so that's why I'm counting through these. 7. So I apologize if you're working on this or something else while listening. 8, but I want to make sure we get our right number in here. 9. And then last one, we yarn over, go into that last stitch we came out of, pull up our loop, yarn over, find our last stitch on the end by kind of turning it over here, go under, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through all 5, chain 1. All right, so here's what I was talking about. We have all these working strands. Let me try to get these tails out of the way here. Give me just a second here. Okay. So we have these 3 tails. Hopefully they're all on in frame here because I can't see part of my phone with the contraption I have it in. So I have 3 working tails coming out. Right now they're not twisted on each other. When I go to turn my work, I can either choose to turn it over this way, or I can turn it this way, and now they're going to be, oh, these tails got in the way again. Now they're going to be twisted, but whatever way we turn our work, we want to make sure we turn back the opposite way. So when we get done going across here, we're going to flip our work back the opposite way, and then they come untangled again, untwisted again. And then also, so we started row, so whatever side, whatever row you're on, so we were on 11 here, and because it's over on this side, we start from this side and we work this way. So we want to count this way. So when we start row 12, we're going to count this way. We're going to come back the other way. So we'll count 10 over because we have the same number here, but we're going to do 4 of the dark green instead, and we're going to have to carry the dark or the light green for 2 stitches here, which isn't a big deal. 2 stitches is a small amount versus, like, you know, 4 or more. So we'll carry the light green across, or actually we'll carry it across here, these 2, and then continue on with the rest of the green here, the light green, right? And then you count back this way, and you count back you just kind of, whatever side the number is on, the row that you're on, you want to make sure you count from that direction. So 11 is over here. We're going to start counting from over here. Or yeah, we already did that. So on 12, we're going to start on this side and count back this way. So on the next video, I'll explain that again. But for those of you that work ahead, that is how you do that. And there are our first 11 rows. Let me see if I can pull this back a little bit, kind of go up and give you a little bit more of a bird's eye view. There you go. There's our flag, and the little green is in the shadow, so let me move that out of the way. So there you go. All right, y'all, I'll see you on the next one.